guys, I'm here again for another video, and that is going to be a tag. I always love doing these, they're always so much fun. But today's tag video is going to be my Intimidating TBR tag. I'm really excited about this. It might give me like more prompts to actually read the amount of books I have, but I'm very excited about this, so let's get started. So the first question is a book you were unable to finish, and I couldn't actually think, I don't actually have anything at the moment that I was like unable to read, but there was a book that I did finish, but it took me like 6 months to read, and that was The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I just couldn't read this. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I would, and I was kind of bored through the book, so it was hard to read because I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere with the book because it felt like it was going forever, and I kept putting it aside, and 6 months went past, and then I was finally like, you gotta read it, Abby, because I have an issue of actually finishing the books I read, because like I need to finish them because it just needs to happen. So this is the only one I could think of that would slightly work for this. So question number 2 is just a heap of prompts, and this starts with, what book have you yet to blah? So A is a book you just haven't had the time to read. For this, I'm gonna pick Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, because I seriously have not had the time to read this, and I swear I've mentioned this in so many videos. It's like the book I mentioned because that's unread, because I just haven't read it. I feel so bad. I want to mention it for having read it in a video. It's like, seriously, I want to read this so badly, but there's so many things I have to read beforehand, and it's just like, ah. And I just think, no, it's gonna be amazing, but I just haven't had the time. I bet you the sequel is going to come out before I get to this. Part B is because it's a sequel, and for that I'm going to pick Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, because I've had this sitting there for ages. I think my issue with this is when I read Cinder, I liked it, but I didn't love it necessarily, just because it was kind of like obvious what was going to happen at the end, and I was a bit like, yeah, whatever. So I just have not been hesitant to pick this back up, but it's just like, I just haven't had the energy to dedicate myself into this series yet, as I don't know how I'm going to feel about the rest of it, but I do want to read it. It's just that I don't think now's the perfect time for it. Prompt C is because it's brand new, and for that I'm going to pick Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, and even though this came out at the beginning of the year and it's not even new anymore, I've been wanting to read this for a while, and I just haven't had the chance. Like, I loved Red Queen so much, and I thought I'd be so down with reading the sequel, but I'm just not there yet. I've been waiting like a year and a half to read this freaking book, and I just haven't done it. It just means that when like a King's Cage comes out, I will be like, you know, ready for that too, because it'll be probably a week before that book comes out that I actually will read this. But I definitely want to get to this soon, like, come on. Question number D is, you read a book by the same author and you didn't enjoy it, and for this I just have no idea, because there's most of the time, like, if I've read a book that I didn't enjoy from an author, I generally liked other books from them, but I can't think of any at the moment, because like say with like Waterfall by Lauren Clay, like, I didn't enjoy that, but there's another book that she's written, Unforgiven, which is part of the Fallen series, which I did enjoy, so I know I'll enjoy that, so it doesn't really work. But I can't think of anything, like, I seriously can't think of anything for this question. Prompt number E is just a book you're not in the mood for, and for that I'm gonna pick The Vampire Diaries by L.J. Smith, because like, I want to read this. It's not that I don't want to, it's just, I don't know, like, I've read the other books so like early on, and I feel like I'm kind of locked in now because I own the next like 6 books. Like, I have 6, like, some of the bind-ups, but I have 6 more books in this series sitting on my shelf, and I want to get to them because I think it'd be such an accomplishment, but I'm just not in the mood for this at the moment, because there's so many other books that I want to read that are more current and more like, you know, that I'd find probably more interesting. Like, again, like, I liked them, but I didn't love them, but when you see a bargain for like $5, it's kind of like, it's a big book, so I did it. Prompt number F is just for books that are humongous, and I have 3 for this. First one is The Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. And I mean, like, it looks so small, and then it's like, bam! This is like 700, like, actually, this is 800 pages. I am just kind of like, what? I really want to read this, but like, I kind of forgot what it's about, and it's just this really massive book sitting on my shelf, and I'm kind of like, I'm kind of scared, and I don't know what to do because it's so big, but I will read it, but I'm just like kind of terrified of this. The next one I have is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I know I will enjoy this. Everyone enjoys this book, but this one is like 700 pages, yeah, like 700 pages, and that is massive too. Like, look at the size of these books. Oh my god, I'm gonna die trying to read this. And again, with this one, I've kind of forgotten what this is about. Like, I know, but I don't know, and I have other things that are like so small to read that will be easier. And the last one is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, because like this is a massive book. I think this one is like 800 pages. And I'm like kind of terrified of reading this. Like I know I will love it, but like I'm really terrified. And another thing though is like I probably would have read this earlier on when it first came out, but I am waiting for Tales of Shadowhunter Academy to come out in paperback because I don't want to spend $4 for each of the bloody like ebooks when I could just buy the bind up. It's just I have to wait. Like I don't mind waiting, but I can buy the bind up and it'll be like a lot cheaper, and then I can have the bind up for my collection, and then I'll actually understand a lot more of what's going on in this book, because I feel like I definitely want to have those to read to actually understand this a lot more. But definitely it is a big book and I'm kind of like a bit terrified. Prompt Number G is a book that was a cover by that ended up actually having really poor reviews, and I'm gonna say The Haters by Jessie Andrews. Like when I looked at this on Goodreads, I was like, oh, this is good, and then there was so many 2-star reviews and I was like, ah, okay, it's kind of, what? Like this just, I really like, the cover really drew me in, like the yellow, it's like the color of the sun, it makes you feel warm inside. So I think this is a really beautiful cover and I want to read this book and I hope I enjoy it, because like there's so many people who haven't enjoyed it, so I'm just like, I hope I do. And Prompt Number H is my most intimidating book on my TBR pile, and for that I'm going to choose these collection of books by Charles Dickens, because it's like classics and I don't know how I'm gonna go. The books in this are Oliver Twist, Great Expectations and A Tale of Two Cities, and just saying, the reason I really wanted this is because it has A Tale of Two Cities in it and I want to read that story, but I don't know if this is just gonna end up being like a book that I own but I just never read it because like it's so big, and like the writing is really small and like I just feel like this is gonna kill me. How many pages is it? And it's so heavy, and it's 800 pages, like it's 3 books, but like when I read Pride and Prejudice, like I enjoyed it, but like it took me forever to read because I was just like at an age where I couldn't read like anything that was a contemporary or a classic. Like those type of books just killed me, and I still have a bit of that lingering on me, so I don't know when I will read this, but I feel smart owning it. But anyway guys, that is my intimidating TBR tag. I hope you had fun watching all the books that I want to read, hopefully in the future sometime. But anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye!